and we're going to wrap this thing up. So patiently waiting in the win, your Division II All-American third baseman. Here she goes, Alex Hare. Hare don't care. What's up, girl?
Hello,
How you
hello.
doing?
Doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, baby. Patiently waiting. If you don't know Alex, Alex played on my team from the time she was 15 years old all the way up until the time that she graduated high school. She's going to talk about her journey as a young 15, 16-year-old committed Division I athlete that ended up going to a junior college for a year and then spending her last 3 years at St. Leo. Alex, it wasn't always an easy journey for you, right? You were not, while you were always bright and extremely intelligent, you have also always been a little stubborn and hard-headed. Things have always needed to be done your way, but as you've gotten older, you have matured and become just as amazing as I always knew you would. But in high school, you struggled, right? You were not a 4.0 graduating scholar athlete, right? You graduated. You were standout in just about everything you did. Talk about that high school struggle and how you're kind of just your journey. Catch us up with that.
Yeah, I mean, we could be here all day if we wanted to get down to the deep down diving into high school.
Yeah, we
But
don't want all that.
yeah,
Just
I
kind of
mean, high
what
school was
propelled you.
pretty rough for me. I was never.
Ooh, you froze up, kid. Technical difficulties for Alex. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Well, folks, give me a second. Let me text her and get her back. In the meantime, you just get to hear my voice. La-ti-da. We're going to go back to Jess. Here we go. Oh, Jess's screen's not there. She took a break. Let's go back to Alex. You saw her running. This is so much fun. Technical difficulties. Hi, kid. How you doing? I'm going to call Alex. This is so much fun. This is why we're not professionals. What's that?
Went to go get a snack. I had to take a
This is why we're not professionals. This is why we're just a bunch of wacky people having fun on the phone. Oh my God. That's so funny. All right, Jess. Well, how's it going? I'm going to try to get Alex back in, people. Just hold on for a minute. It's fun. Hey, here we go. Let's do this. Watch this. Boom. This is fun. Oh, get you some 60 for me. There you go. Hold on. Alex is calling back in. Let's put Alex back on guest 3. Let's see what we got. Booyah. Maybe. Alex Hare, where are you? Oh, God. People, bear with us. Oh, we only lost 4 people in that whole transition. So apparently God himself has interfered, and we're going to let you start over with that story, kid. Go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know really where we ended, but yeah, like I said,
The beginning.
athletic. That was my thing in high school. That's what I focused on. I focused on being the best at that, and honestly, I didn't focus on being the best in my academics, which, as much as it's not intelligent to say that, like I don't know if you heard what I said before, but everything happens for a reason. I ended up where I did, and though I wasn't that scholar student in high school, I was an honor student all through college,
Yeah.
and I focused on being the best athlete and the best in the classroom. So um, there
Talk
was
about
definitely
Talk about that
changes.
junior college though. Like down at junior college, like you learned how to be a student, right? Like they made you take some extra classes and do some extra things in order to be able to like learn how to be a student. And kind of once you figured that out, like you were off to the races.
Yeah, I mean that JUCO year is honestly something that I think plays the biggest part in how I got to where I got. I think academic wise, I mean yeah, I got to practice and just did the same thing I did in high school, and I just practiced as much as I could. That's what I cared about. And then when the test started adding up and there was not the best grades, I was like, yeah, I should probably do something about that. And I got to where I needed to be. I worked my way up. I found, the major that I wanted to do, got my test scores back up, did all the work, and finally got to where I needed to be in the classroom, which kind of led to the rest of my college career in the classroom.
Right. And then once you did, you absolutely just took off, right? So you finished that first year of junior college. You played a bunch, right? You figured out how to become a student. You're growing up, maturing as a young lady. You get picked up by St. Leo. Your 3 years at St. Leo. Talk about the transition from kind of being a travel ball player, right? Constant schedule, moving, shaking, baking, all that stuff. Then going to JUCO for a year. Now you've got all that under your belt. You show up at St. Leo and you got to fight, right? You're behind another All-American, right? Which is something that you've not really had to deal with before because you were the shortstop. You were the baller. I can show you 100 million plays where you had it all figured out. And you've been the girl in that spot pretty much your whole career because you worked your tail off to be in that spot. But you show up at St. Leo, there's an All-American in front of you. Kind of what's the vibe? What's the feel? How are you now transitioning as a second-year college student, but first-year St. Leo player?
Yeah, honestly, it all kind of stems back to that JUCO year. I mean, I can remember to this day, my last travel ball season summer. Coach Pat, for those of you who know, Coach Pat.
Coach Pat, St. Leo.
Yeah. He tried to humble me, and I was still that hard-headed kid that I was all through high school, and he told me, like, you don't get to just walk in there and be the starter. Like, that's not how it's going to work. And I mean, to be honest, I didn't believe him. I thought, just like I thought my whole life, I thought I was the best. I thought I was obligated to have that starting position, which obviously I wasn't. There was no reason for me to believe that when I look back on that now, but it all stems back from that JUCO season. I walk in there and I still think I'm the best before I even get on the field. And then, it was always very hard for me because I was committed to mid major, but I was always overlooked, and that can be another time. Just size, I was always overlooked because of my size. So then, at that point in time, once I had decommitted my senior year and I decided to go to a JUCO, once I got there, I played with a bunch of international girls, and they were just a new level of talent that I had never seen.
Wow.
And I stepped in there and I got humbled very fast. And it was just something that I would have never thought would ever happen. I sat the bench for the first time and I was like, wow, like
we call that growth. We call that growth, girl.
Yeah, right.
We call that growth.
Yeah. So that season was something else in itself. I mean, I learned a lot about myself that year. I learned not only academics, but athletically, just kind of finding myself as well. And then COVID happened. I realized that I didn't want to go back another season. I ended up finding St. Leo, and yeah, I got there. I was behind. At that point, I was still trying to find myself as an athlete. But Casey Kelly, she was a great athlete, but I knew if I worked hard that I could do my best. She ended up actually not playing that position. It was a kind of just everyone was everywhere. I remember I ended up playing the outfield, and if you know me, I want to play the infield.
Wait. Hold on a second. Hold on. I just want to be clear. You were starting shortstop your whole career, and then you get to college, and just so you can get on the field, you took an outfield position?
Oh, yeah.
Stop it. You didn't do that. Stop it.
No, I did.
Of course you did. You're going to do whatever it takes to get on the field, right? Right.
Yeah, it was one of those things where I knew I wanted to play. They needed my bat in the lineup, but they didn't have a position for me. And that was one of those things that made me work harder at practice. And, I still played shortstop in practice. I played shortstop every practice. I never played the outfield. They just put me threw me in there, told me to catch some balls, and we
Go
went
catch
from
the
there.
ball, girl. Go be
Yeah.
an athlete.
Yeah. So I remember them moving me to third base, and honestly, I can never thank them enough for that. I can't imagine playing anywhere but third base. It like is home to me. Um, I kind of began to make errors from overthinking. I did things where I would kind of overthink the ball. I would run through it. It's things that I hadn't done before at shortstop. They thought I would have less reaction time at third base, and there we go. And it was great. Never want to go back.
Nope, because hair don't care, right? We about to get through it. That's it.
Yeah, it was great for sure. It's something that I would never change it for the world. It was amazing.
So you're there year 1, year 2, right? Fast forward to year 3, right? Year 3, great year for the team, great year for you specifically. I'm going to come back. I want to pause that for a second, and I want to talk about your bat because you said they needed your bat, right? I want to talk about the fact that in your brain, your whole life, you're a right-handed hitter. I'm a right-handed hitter. I'm a right-handed hitter. And every coach that you ever met said, best off your speed, you're a left-handed hitter. You're a left-handed hitter. Well, you said, all right, cool. I'll hit home runs from the left. I'll hit home runs from the right. I'll bunt from the right. I'll slap from the left. And you became one of the rare kids that can truly be a switch hitter and put it from either side down on a dime. You were very resistant to that left side switch because you almost took it as a negative. Like somebody was telling you you couldn't hit on the right-hand side. Instead of seeing the tool you were given, you were like, no, hell no, forget that. I'm going to hit on the right. And you would get one strike on the left. And you were like, see, I told you it's because I'm not on the right, you know? So it took some time. Right. Talk about fighting that mental battle of understanding all your talents and really giving into that left side, because that's primarily where you hit from in your All-American year was the left side.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that will forever play one of the biggest parts of my softball career is that I was natural at both sides, and to this day, that's something that I'm so proud of because the swing was identical. I mean, from both sides, it was something that you don't see often, I feel like, and that's just kind of things that I heard from coaches that had watched the swing. But every coach said something different, and that to this day, if I could go back, there was things that I could do differently because you're right. I kind of used the switch hitting as, well, if I get a strike on me, let's go ahead and go to the other side. Let's move. I got out that last at bat, so let's switch. But now when I look back on it, and yeah, I didn't hit righty my last year, but if I look back on it, and if I wish I would have utilized it better. I wish I would have. I think about it now, and I think about it in baseball perspective. A lot of switch hitters in baseball, the ones that there are, it depends on the pitch. It depends on if the pitcher throws righty or lefty.
Sure.
I wish I would have utilized it like that. But yeah, once I made the switch to the left-hand side, I stopped hitting the home runs, which was fine. I started hitting the gaps. I had kind of incorporated a big leg kick, which really helped me with my bunts. It threw people off. And same thing with slapping. I utilized it as much as I could. But of course, still wanted to be that big hitter that I always thought I was. But yeah, once I used everything in my tool belt is how I stayed that 400 hitter that I was that last season.
There you go. So third year, All-American, all the accolades. That's top 3 third baseman at the Division II level in the country. So if you don't know, what being an All-American means is, there's votes, there's all this, selection process, and it doesn't matter what team you come in on, you're top 3 third baseman in the country. So what a great year for St. Leo. What a great year for you on top. So now you've graduated, right? Now it's going into October. You're 5 months outside of college. You're living big girl life. What's going on now 5 months later for Alex Hare after softball is, I don't want to say over, but you're no longer playing competitively. What's going on now?
Yeah, I kind of talked to some people prior to this too and like I said, that can be in another conversation, but I don't think a lot of people, I don't hear people talk about the after college, and it's emotional. It's hard.
Yeah.
I think I cried the first month. Um, and then I was like, oh, okay, I'm free. Like I had my job, I felt free. And then I have that kind of barrier again. I feel like it's missing. It's not there. It's hard. I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever talked about enough.
So you say your job, like what's, if you care to share that, right? Because
Mhm.
you're, from what I hear, you're killing it, right? You've jumped in, you're leading a whole bunch of things, doing a whole bunch of things. So, go girl, competitive. There's still competitive co-ed leagues. Look, now I want to reach out and hug you. There's still, slow pitch leagues. There's coaching. I mean, Kelsey Peck is coaching right now, right? So there's ways to still stay involved with the game after you graduate. So, but work wise, right? What's going on in that world?
Yeah, so talk about staying involved. I that's something that had finally come up once I've made a big move to Iowa. I'm finally, once we get back, we're back in Florida now. We'll get back to Iowa this coming week, and then I have a work trip after that. The following week, I'll start giving lessons in Iowa. So it'll be nice to get back around the game, teach some kids. It's going to be fun. I had done it a couple times the last time I was there, but it'll be nice for sure to get back around it. I'm sure it'll be emotional the first couple times, but there's so much that I wish I would have done that I look forward to helping others achieve.
There you go.
But yeah, but work, that was softball. Like I said it from the beginning. Softball was always my life. That was what I focused on. I wanted to be the best. And you're right, it is over. There's not much I can I can do about it. It's over. I can stay around it as much as I can. I have never been one to have a job that's just, if we're being completely honest, I haven't. I've been very reliant on my family who've supported me the whole way. And um, essentially, like I said, softball was the life.
There you go.
Once I found peace knowing that I wasn't exactly sure if I was going to come back for the right reason for that fifth year, I started searching for jobs. So I knew this whole time that I wanted to be in sales.
Okay.
So that is kind of where I started. I started looking. I had someone reach out, and I decided to kind of take it upon myself, just because it seemed like an insane opportunity. I took it upon myself to go through the interview process during my last season. So I was doing school, I was doing softball. I was in that last season. I was
Yeah.
doing as much as I could, and I was still trying to do my best for once, just to see. It was more or
Sure.
less, let's see if I get this job. Maybe I'll still want to come and play. Maybe I'll want the job. I don't know.
Right.
I didn't expect it to be as long as it was. It was almost a 2 month interview process. It took an immense amount of time. The first interview took like a month, and then it was a crazy experience. It's something I'm very glad that I did. But yeah, so I sell legal software. It's a great experience. I mean, I really lucked out getting this job. I can't even imagine being with another company. Um, I I always wanted to be an attorney. I never knew where. This makes me want to be an attorney even more.
Well, there you go. It's not too late, right?
Yeah.
I mean, geez, you're
Yeah,
22.
no, it's not.
Didn't I tell you when you were selling the software, you were going to end up wanting to go back to do law again? That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's funny.
So that's kind of,
all right.
that's where I'm at. But yeah, like you said, the competitiveness, my season, or my quarter was Friday, end of quarter. It was the last day that I needed to get a certain amount of attorneys into where they needed to go. And it was the end of quarter. It felt, so for people that want that thrill after college, it honestly, I can't say that I felt any like heart beating fast like I was up to bat until that last day on Friday. I was calling my boss. I was like, I'm panicking. I need these people to show. I need these people to
That's
do
funny.
this. I need these people to do this.
So
But
you
it
took
was-
your
it was
competitive
great.
nature for a batting average to a sales average. Look at that.
I did. And
That's
I mean,
funny.
it's the same. I suggest you find what you want to do, because even now I want to be the top in my job, and I've done that, and I've been recognized by my bosses, and it's been such a great opportunity so far, and I can't wait to grow in this place for sure. I think it'll be great. This company is amazing.
Very good. Well, look, I'm gonna pull you both up side by side now. There you go. Right. So there's both my girls. One has graduated from Southern and a live accountant, living on her own. The other one has graduated from Leo as an All-American and now moving to Iowa. So if you're in Iowa watching and you need some batting lessons coming up here in a few weeks. Well, look, I'm going to tie this out by telling you both in front of God and country, I'm very proud of you. I'm proud that you get to share your stories. Hopefully some softball players will watch this. Maybe it helps somebody, maybe it don't. But I'm very proud of the both of you. Jess, I will talk to you sometime this week. Alex, I will talk to you, hopefully see you before you go back to Iowa. I know a guy who's got a good taco place, so maybe we'll catch lunch. All right.
All right. Sounds good.